The most glamorous night in fashion just exploded into chaos, and this time, something felt off from the very first second. Kylie Jenner stepped onto the iconic red carpet of the Met Gala 2026 looking absolutely breathtaking, but within moments, the internet noticed what was missing. No, not her outfit. Not her confidence. Someone. Before we go deeper, hit like, drop your opinion in the comments, and subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear might completely change how you see this story. Flashbulbs exploded, cameras zoomed in, and Kylie moved with calculated elegance. Her couture look instantly became one of the most talked about fashion moments of the night: sharp lines, shimmering textures, and a bold, almost symbolic presence that screamed control and mystery. But while the world admired the look, they couldn't ignore the silence beside her. Where was Timothée Chalamet? That question didn't just trend, it dominated the entire conversation. For months, Kylie and Timothée had been spotted together in moments that felt anything but casual. Exclusive dinners. High-profile outings. Courtside appearances that had fans convinced their relationship was entering a new, public phase. Many believed this would be the night, their official red carpet debut as a couple. But reality hit differently. No joint entrance. No subtle interactions. No shared spotlight. And somehow, that absence became louder than any appearance could have been. Kylie, however, didn't flinch. She posed with precision, interacted with other celebrities, and carried herself with a confidence that felt almost intentional. Every smile, every glance, every pause, it all felt controlled. And that's where the tension started building. Because the internet doesn't just watch. It analyzes. Some insiders quickly suggested scheduling conflicts. Others claimed the decision was deliberate. In a world where timing is everything, skipping an event like the Met Gala isn't random, it's strategic, or it's personal. And fans? They weren't buying simple explanations. Now here's where things get even more interesting. A growing number of pop culture analysts began reading between the lines. They argued that Kylie's solo appearance wasn't a setback, it was a statement. A declaration of independence. A way of reclaiming the narrative and reminding the world that she doesn't need a partner to dominate a global stage. But not everyone agrees. A more dramatic theory started gaining traction. What if this wasn't strategy, but distance? Not a breakup, but a shift. A moment where something behind the scenes is changing. Fans began connecting dots, reduced public sightings, subtle social media gaps, and now this very public absence at one of the biggest events of the year. And then, the clip. A short video went viral within minutes. Kylie reaches the top of the Met steps, pauses, takes a breath, and briefly looks back before continuing forward. For some, it was nothing. For others, it was everything. Was she expecting someone? Waiting? Reflecting? Or was it just a perfectly normal moment that the internet turned into a narrative? Here's the payoff. Regardless of the speculation, Kylie Jenner owned the night. Completely. In an environment designed for spectacle, she became the story, not just because of what she wore, but because of what was missing. And in doing so, she created something even more powerful than a couple debut. She created mystery. Because sometimes, the loudest statement isn't who shows up, it's who doesn't. And just like that, the Met Gala 2026 transformed from a fashion event into a global conversation about relationships, timing, and image control. Kylie didn't just attend, she shifted the narrative. So what do you think? Is this a sign of distance between Kylie and Timothée, or a calculated move to keep the world guessing? Drop your theory in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next update might reveal what really happened behind the scenes. And just when the conversation seemed to settle into two clear sides, strategy versus speculation, something unexpected began to surface. pushing the narrative into an entirely new direction. Because behind the flashing lights and carefully curated appearances, the timeline doesn't lie. In the days leading up to the Met Gala 2026, insiders noticed a subtle but undeniable shift. Kylie Jenner was active, visible, and strategically present, attending pre-events, fittings, and private gatherings tied to the fashion world's biggest night. Meanwhile, Timothée Chalamet seemed distant. Not publicly attached to any Met-related buzz. No leaks, no sightings, no whispers of a surprise entrance. And in celebrity culture, silence is never just silence. It's either intentional or it's telling. Now here's where the tension starts to rise again. Multiple fashion insiders hinted that Kylie's look for the night was designed months in advance, down to the smallest detail. The concept, the silhouette, the message, it all pointed toward a singular presence. Not a duo. Not a couple moment. A statement piece, worn by one person, commanding the entire visual narrative. That detail alone started fueling a new theory. What if Timothée was never meant to be there? What if the expectation of their joint appearance was built entirely by the public, and quietly allowed to grow? Because if that's true, then what we witnessed wasn't a last-minute change. It was a perfectly executed misdirection. And suddenly, everything starts to feel different. The way Kylie walked, slow, deliberate, almost cinematic. The pauses between poses. The moments where she let the cameras wait for her instead of the other way around. These aren't random gestures. They're controlled beats. And in a space like the Met Gala, control is power. But let's not ignore the emotional layer. Because while the strategy angle makes sense, there's still something that doesn't fully add up. Fans who have followed Kylie closely noticed a shift not just in her presence, but in her energy. There was confidence, yes, but also a certain distance. A focus that felt internal rather than outward. And that brings us back to that viral moment on the steps. That pause. That look back. That fraction of a second that the internet refuses to let go. Some body language experts even weighed in, suggesting that the gesture could signal anticipation or reflection. A subconscious check for someone who isn't there. Or maybe, a symbolic moment of moving forward. Alone. Now imagine this. You're standing at the center of the biggest fashion event in the world. Every camera is on you. Every movement is analyzed in real time. And yet, in that moment, something breaks the rhythm, even if only for a second. That's what people saw. And whether it's real or projected, perception is everything. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, whispers continue to grow louder. Sources close to Hollywood circles suggest that Timothée's schedule might not be the full story. While it's true that he has ongoing commitments, some claim there was flexibility, enough to attend, if the decision had been made. So the question becomes unavoidable. If he could have been there, why wasn't he? And this is where the narrative splits again. One side believes this is a power move by Kylie, choosing to step into a new era where her identity isn't tied to a relationship headline. In a world where celebrity couples often overshadow individual achievements, this could be her way of reclaiming the spotlight. The other side sees something more fragile. A relationship recalibrating under pressure. Two global figures navigating schedules, expectations, and public scrutiny, trying to find balance without making everything public. Because let's be honest, not every absence is a statement. But at this level, every absence becomes one. And just when the speculation reaches its peak, another layer quietly enters the conversation. Brand positioning. Kylie Jenner isn't just a celebrity, she's a business empire. Every appearance, every outfit, every headline ties back to a larger ecosystem of influence, branding, and long-term strategy. A solo Met Gala moment like this doesn't just generate buzz, it reinforces her as a standalone icon. And in that context, the absence of Timothée isn't a gap. It's space. Space for her narrative to expand without sharing the frame. But even with all these theories, one thing remains unchanged. People are still watching closely. Because the story doesn't end at the Met steps. It continues in what happens next. Will they be seen together again soon? Will there be a public appearance that resets the narrative? Or will the distance, real or perceived, continue to grow? Every move from this point forward becomes part of the answer. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not just about what happened. It's about what it means, and what comes next. Because in the world of high-profile relationships and global fame, clarity is rare, but intrigue? That's currency. And right now, Kylie Jenner holds all of it. So stay alert. Watch the patterns. Pay attention to the details others might miss. Because the next clue might not come from a headline. It might come from a glance, a photo, or even another absence. And when it does, everything could change again. If you've made it this far, you already know, this isn't just a fashion story. It's a narrative unfolding in real time. So drop your theory now, share this with someone who's following the drama, and make sure you're subscribed, because the next chapter might arrive when no one expects it. And just when it felt like every angle had been explored, the story took another subtle turn, one that didn't come from headlines, but from patterns. Because if you look closely, this isn't just about one night at the Met Gala 2026. It's about everything leading up to it, and everything that followed immediately after. In the hours after Kylie Jenner left the red carpet, social media didn't slow down, it intensified. Clips were replayed. Photos were dissected. Even the smallest gestures were zoomed in, slowed down, and analyzed frame by frame. And yet, no matter how much content surfaced, one thing remained unchanged: the absence of Timothée Chalamet continued to dominate the narrative. But then something interesting happened. Kylie's after-party appearances began to surface. Unlike the red carpet, where every move is highly controlled, after-parties tend to reveal a more relaxed, unfiltered side of celebrities. And Kylie? She showed up again, still composed, still radiant, but noticeably more at ease. She was seen engaging in longer conversations, laughing more openly, and blending into the elite circle of fashion insiders and A-list guests. Yet even there, no Timothée. Now here's where things get even more layered. Some attendees reportedly mentioned that Kylie arrived and left separately, maintaining a level of independence throughout the entire night. No late-night reunion. No surprise appearance. No hidden moment captured by paparazzi. In an era where almost nothing escapes the lens, that kind of absence becomes even louder. And that silence? It started to echo. Because fans didn't just stop at the event, they began tracking timelines. When was the last confirmed sighting of Kylie and Timothée together? How often had they appeared publicly in recent weeks? Were there any overlapping schedules that could explain this gap? The deeper people looked, the more questions emerged. And then, a new theory entered the conversation, one that shifted the tone from speculation to strategy on an entirely different level. What if this isn't about distance, but about control of narrative timing? Think about it. If Kylie and Timothée had appeared together at the Met Gala, the story would have been simple: couple debut, shared spotlight, predictable headlines. Big? Yes. But also expected. Instead, what we got was something far more powerful. Mystery. Debate. Engagement that stretches far beyond a single night. By not appearing together, they didn't end the conversation, they extended it. They turned one moment into a multi-day, possibly multi-week narrative cycle. And in the attention economy, that's invaluable. But there's still a human side to all of this that can't be ignored. Because behind the strategy, behind the headlines, behind the analysis, there are real emotions, real decisions, and real relationships being navigated under an intense public microscope. And sometimes, what looks like a calculated move might simply be two people choosing privacy in the only way they can. By saying nothing. By doing nothing. By letting the world speculate while they remain silent. Still, the internet doesn't rest. Shortly after the event, fans noticed something subtle but intriguing. A series of older clips and photos of Kylie and Timothée began resurfacing and trending again, moments that had once been seen as casual now recontextualized under the lens of current speculation. Every smile, every glance, every interaction suddenly carried new meaning. And that's the thing about public narratives. They don't just move forward, they rewrite the past. Now even their earliest appearances together are being revisited, analyzed for clues that might explain the present. Was there always distance? Were there signs of imbalance? Or were those moments genuine, now overshadowed by current uncertainty? No one knows for sure. But everyone has a theory. Meanwhile, Kylie's team remained completely silent. No statements, no clarifications, no attempts to control the narrative directly. And in a world where PR responses are often immediate, that silence feels intentional. Because sometimes, saying nothing says everything. And let's not forget the broader impact. The Met Gala is more than a fashion event, it's a cultural amplifier. What happens there doesn't stay there. It spills into entertainment news, social media discourse, and global conversations about celebrity, identity, and influence. And this year, Kylie didn't just attend. She dominated. Not through confirmation, but through ambiguity. Not through presence, but through absence. And just when it seems like the story might start fading, one final detail brings everything back into focus. A post-event sighting. Unconfirmed at first, then gradually gaining traction, reports that Timothée was seen in a completely different city on the same night. No red carpet. No fashion statements. Just a quiet presence, far removed from the spectacle. If true, it adds another layer. Not just absence, but separation in space, in energy, in narrative. And suddenly, the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. On one side, Kylie Jenner, center stage, commanding global attention at the biggest fashion event of the year. On the other, Timothée Chalamet, somewhere else entirely, outside the spotlight, detached from the moment everyone expected him to share. Two worlds. One story. And a gap that continues to spark questions. So where does that leave us? Right in the middle of uncertainty. Because until either of them speaks, or until they're seen together again, this moment remains open-ended. A story without a confirmed conclusion. A narrative driven not by facts alone, but by interpretation. And maybe that's exactly why it works. Because people don't just follow answers. They follow questions. So keep watching. Keep paying attention to the details others might overlook.